What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Now, today we're going to talk about the WNBA's 2025 trade deadline. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, tell anyone about the show. Trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. But like I said, we're going to talk about the trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen, because it was a good one. I don't know if y'all know this, but it did just pass. The trade deadline did just pass. Now, as y'all can see here, we do have a couple things that happened, but just know from really the start of the season, which was around this time frame, up until August 7th, that's the trade deadline. All right. So you had that amount of time to make trades. Now you can still sign some players, but that was the date for the trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen. Now there were four signings that I'm gonna talk about specifically because I think these signings had the biggest impact, not only to the teams but the WNBA. I'm talking about contenders. I'm talking about champions, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're gonna be looking at. And of course, with this top four, there's got to be a winner out of everybody, right? Out of everybody. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, can we go to the top signings? And matter of fact, I'm gonna just get on soapbox right fast. I personally believe that these are good signings. Okay, so I need y'all to stay with me now. In no specific order, by the way, too. We're gonna give the winner at the end. Let's bring up the first signing. Dijonai. Now, look, Dijonai, my bad, Carrington. She got traded to the Lynx from the Wings. And I had question marks about Dijonai on the Wings. If she were about 6'1", 6'2", I might not have as many question marks. But because she's a shorter guard, about 5'10", I like her on this wing squad because I think she does pair well for the present day team. Now, 1 year rental, we got to have a question mark because she could go elsewhere next year. She might resign, especially if the Lynx go far, right? They just went to the finals, so if they go back, why would she not want to spin the block, right? What if she goes elsewhere? That's my only caveat to this signing of Dijonai. Because they lost Diamond Miller, that's someone who I was a big fan of personally. Like when Napheesa Collier wasn't here, her rookie year, Diamond Miller's, she was hooping. She was getting a little bucket, about 12, 13 points a game. As a rookie, ain't bad. Efficient as well, too, but at least pretty efficient. And I mean, for me, that's a future core player that you lost. She was signed up until about 2027, if I'm not mistaken. So, granted, you lose that caliber player. She has not played that much. Got to figure out why. You bring in Dijonai. If she leaves, that's my only thing. Outside of that, this was a wonderful signing for the Lynx because, again, you get another guard or another perimeter defender at the guard position who can also get a bucket. It's low-key hard to come by. She kind of give you a little Marcus Smart vibes. That's all I'm going to say. But I do like that signing for the Lynx. We're not going to talk too much about it. Shout out to the Stud Buds edition because I do like that addition to the team. I will say this to the dildo fans out there. This might be the only team I can see you throwing a dildo at, only because they mentioned it on their show, Stud Buds. That's the only reason. Strappy Lappy. It's the only reason why I was in. Outside of that, and even then, don't throw them. Like, can we stop throwing the dildos, please? I'd appreciate that. I know there was an article that came out about that. We'll talk more about that. But I had to throw that in there right quick. Now, going on from the Lynx, let's talk about another team, shall we? The Storm. They brought in my girl, Brittany Sykes. Ladies and gentlemen, I have said all season long, Brittany Sykes is a WNBA star without the cachet. And I'm glad she has been proving me right this season. Again. Like, she was an all-star. And initially, she wasn't supposed to be. She didn't get voted in initially, which I thought was a slight to Brittany. Like, she was the best player on the Mystics. But she ended up making the all-star team because of injuries. and she showed out. She played well. Well, she gets to play alongside four really good players on the Storm squad. And it makes me wonder, damn, can they be contenders again? Because I think with her addition, she is that star piece that can help NECA, that can help Skylar. She doesn't have to carry a team. She can, though. Let's not forget the Mystics were in playoff contention about the middle of the pack with her at the helm. Now we're lessening her role. She can do quite well. I've seen her on my Sparks before do well. Now, when I look at what the Storm had to give up, Alicia Clark, Zaya Cook, plus a 2026 first round pick. Their own, by the way. Got to throw in that Alicia Clark didn't play that much, weirdly. Zaya Cook, young, didn't play that much either. So, in that first round pick, it's their own. They're going to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. They've been fairly consistent in the playoffs. They have my Sparks pick. So they're cool. They still have another pick left. And they just got Dominique Malonga, the number 2 pick in this year's draft, because my Sparks lost it because we got Kelsey Plum. So the Storm are cool. Bringing in Brittany Sykes, that fits their immediate future or immediate present. She could possibly play for the future, or let's see what happens. Maybe they make more trades later on. Either way, I do like this addition for the Storm. Because you could start Brittany, you can bring her off the bench. She can be in the depth lineup, meaning the closing 5. It's a lot of things you can do with that. But let's move on, though, because we got more signings to talk about. That's 2 out of the 4. So the third signing I want to talk about, Dewana Bonner. Whoa. Okay. Now, this one was good. Now, this one was interesting because it was a pure signing. You got to remember, the Indiana Fever had Dewana Bonner. Then they cut her. Oh, I wish I had some scissors around. Oh, I got some right here. And they red, too. You know what I'm saying? I gave her the boot, bro. And she also wanted to go, too, and I get it. Because I also thought they weren't utilizing her properly. You have, what is she, about 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", lanky, can shoot the ball, form. You can say it's ugly. I'll give it to you. But she be making that thing. She be getting the bucket. So with that, and she's also shown she can lock down younger players still. Shout out Caitlin Clark, because she did lock your ass down in the playoffs. Trust me, I recorded the highlights. So when the Mercury signed her, you got to remember who they have. Kalia Copper, Satu Sabali, and of course, Alyssa Thomas, the triple-double queen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a star-studded squad right there. That's 4 players who can get you a bucket and defend. But most importantly, they all don't have to start. Like, Dewana Bonner's already shown on the Indiana Fever she can come off the bench. So again, this is a pure signing. They lost nobody. And you're pairing Dewana Bonner, who has a chip on her shoulder, with her boo, who's a triple-double queen, and Alyssa Thomas, who I call top 5 in the WNBA. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that's that is a tough signing to get. And I did say last year, I did want Dewana and Alyssa to kind of go separate ways, right? If so, I'd like to see it. But if they go to the same squad, I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? So we tried this direction. Now we're going to bring it back to unit. Y'all see what I'm doing. Y'all see where I'm going with that one. We got love in there. So again, I'm loving this signing for the Mercury because love and basketball reasons. No pun intended. But let's go ahead and talk about the next one, because I think this one, again, is a really good one as well, too. And that's Emma Meesseman for the New York Liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is a pure signing. The Liberty did not lose, not a thing. And keep in mind, too, the Liberty have actually been going through a lot of injuries over this season. Sabrina Ionescu's been out. Jonquel Jones has been out. Brianna Stewart has been out and is still out. It's nice that they can have a treasure trove of players. Like, Leonie Phoebus was out for a little bit of time just to go play basketball in the EuroLeague, and then come back. Like, they've been without some talent now. Got to give them credit. But signing Emma Meesseman, the 2019 WNBA Finals MVP, that's crazy. No trade. She won on a team, which is also insane to think about. So getting her on this squad, you can bring her off the bench. You can start her. She's at 6'4". She can play your power forward. She can play your center. Right now, she's giving you about 12 to 14 points with like 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks. If that holds up, that's insane to think about having at your disposal, in addition to the players that they got. Sabrina, Natasha Cloud, Leonie Phoebus, Breanna Stewart, Finals MVP herself, Jonquel Jones. Ridiculous. So again, this New York Liberty team, signing Emma Meesseman, not losing a player. Crazy. It's just insane. And like, I hate to say it, but if they're able to retain this roster, you know for a fact the expansion draft is definitely going to be targeting this squad. Oh, I'm selecting players, bro, and they're good players. It's crazy. It's wild. But, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta talk about the winner. So I gave a top 4. Y'all have heard the people, right? We got to talk about Emma Meesseman, Dewana Bonner, Brittany Sykes, Dijonai Carrington. All 4 players will do wonders for their team. All 4 teams are contenders and are stronger contenders now just because of these signings. So because of this, ladies and gentlemen, who the winner? It's a tough one. I gotta go Emma Meesseman. Reason why? Notice how even in the statements I was saying they ain't trade nobody. They ain't give nobody up. Like, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot. That's a lot to think about. And again, I had slight depth concerns for the Liberty when they lost Phoebus, right? Because I didn't know if she was going to come back or not. Does she get injured? We'll see what happens. They already out Benaje Laney, but they got Natasha Cloud. Like, I spoke on the injuries. You got to get the cohesion. Emma Meesseman coming to the squad now? That just adds to the depth. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for me, this was a no-brainer. I also thought about Dewana Bonner because of the chip that she has on her shoulder. Like, again, ladies and gentlemen, I get it. The Indiana Fever caused a problem, and I really want to see the Fever versus the Mercury in the first round. I really, truly do. If we could get that, oh my God, that'd be amazing. That's what happened last year between, well, I guess it was the Sun and the Fever, but still, similar thing. And that would be entertainment, drama, across the board. But the depth, I don't have as much value in for the Mercury as I do the Liberty. And I get you. You might even be able to say, well, damn, can't that mean that Dewana matters more? You can. That's fair. That's a very fair point. Emma Meesseman, for me, can be Finals MVP. And on the depth of this team, she can start, she can finish. And I think the Liberty can go a little further than the Mercury. Again, when I'm thinking about the Mercury, ladies and gentlemen, like, who we got? Monique Okoa, Makani, Kalia Copper, Satu Sabali, Alyssa Thomas, and Natasha Mack as the starters. And then with Sammy Whitcomb, Dewana Bonner, and Kalani Brown coming off the bench. That's about an 8-woman roster deep, okay? When we're talking about the Liberty, I got Sabrina Ionescu, Leonie Phoebus, Breanna Stewart, Emma Meesseman, and Jonquel Jones. You can run that roster. You can. Or you could even throw, and then you can have Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Gardner, Maureen Johannes, Isabel Harrison, and Nyara Sabali as the bench unit. And you can put Natasha Cloud in that starting unit and bring Emma off the bench. You very well could. I just wanted to have 2 bigs for both units. And then you got Natasha Cloud with her boo, Isabel Harrison. I see y'all. You know what I mean? So again, that they can run easily 10 deep, easily. And then adjust the rosters. The Mercury don't as much. And again, not giving up their depth is what sold it for me. Because when you're looking at, all right, the Storm, right? The Storm have Skylar Diggins. You can go Brittany Sykes, Gabby Williams, Nneka Ogwumike, Ezzie Magbegor. And then you got Erica Wheeler, Tiffany Mitchell, Lexi Brown, and Dominique Malonga. I do like that squad. They about 9 deep. You're relying on a rookie right now, Dominique Malonga. I got to have them develop a little bit more. But they can go deep as well, too. I do like that addition. But again, they had to, if they kept Alicia Clark, if they were able to keep Alicia Clark, I think I might have considered Brittany Sykes a little bit higher. Now, if we're talking about here, Dijonai and the wings, right? We got Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Nafisa Collier, Bridget Carlton, and Alana Smith. And then you got Dijonai Carrington, Natisha Heidemann, and Jessica Shepard. That's about an 8-deep roster right there. So again, and you lost your young piece too? That one hurts. That could be about number 4 on the signing for me. Number 3 would be Brittany Sykes again, would vault up to number 1, number 2, if you didn't give up Alicia Clark and you just gave up Zia Cook and a first rounder. I ain't mad at that. It happens. But yeah, the Dewana Bonner signing and the Emma Meesseman signing. Yeah, those were the 2 at the top because, again, they didn't give up anybody. And these are the contenders. So I really hope that we get to watch these girls get a bucket. And like, imagine if they play in the WNBA Finals. Liberty versus Mercury. 2 different signings would be kind of interesting to see how they battle out. But, ladies and gentlemen, that does about conclude the end of the episode. So I'm very curious. One, did I miss a signing? Like, let me know. It's got to be during the WNBA season, by the way. Not talking about the off seasons. During the WNBA season, did I miss one? Am I bugging? Was my winner wrong in your opinion? Let me know. But, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that does conclude. Like I said, the trade deadline, that episode is over. So I definitely hope you continue to support the WNBA, but also continue to support my show. So, like I said, my name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. Yes, I said already. My name is Trey. Hope you all are having a good one. Take care.